Hey, and we're back yet again. You're listening to Gadfly Radio with Martha, Ben Boychuk, and John Seiler. We were talking yet again about the crisis, the budget crisis here in California, and in all the myriad ways that the state is devising to.
People's eyes probably roll over. Crises, schmices, life goes on, American Idol goes on, and what I don't know, what are the latest?
But the potholes never seem to go away.
Oh my God, that's another thing. Highway 5. I mean, it was awful.
Probably rattled the teeth out of your face, huh?
Yes,
yeah.
And Highway 1. I mean, what happened to our glorious highways? They're really crumbling. I mean, there are stretches that they've redone or repaved, and they are expanding on 46. But there were a lot of roads that have always been fantastic. That all of a sudden you feel like you're on a roller coaster, like a little clackety clack, not even a cool roller coaster.
Right.
Like one. That's why we need high-speed rail. You would have been there a lot faster.
Sheesh. That is a nightmare. The high-speed rail, that's going to go slower than the BART or something, right? I mean, it's high speed in select places, but in most places it would just be conventional.
Right.
And yet, have they given up on that one yet? No. Is that part of this ridiculous budget that we're talking about?
Well, they're expecting, they've got $3.5 billion dangling in front of their noses from the federal government in stimulus money. They got to get something going in order to get that money, because it's money is scarce, and they'll take it any way they can get it. But
yeah, I've said all along they're going to get that money, or at least try to get it, and then it'll be over with. They won't get anything else.
Yeah.
And on Joel Fox and Hound, I'm not sure if it was Joel Fox or somebody, and on his crew, they wrote something on education yesterday or the day before, and about how less than 40% of the increase in tax revenue that would go to education would actually make it down to the classroom. It's to feed the bureaucracy.
Right.
And this is the new aristocracy. I mean, those people are living living high on the hog. I mean, they're the ones who are going to those really nice restaurants and are driving those brand new cars. They can lease the Mercedes, or lease the BMW. I mean, I don't resent that if you're a company, a business owner, and you have employees and you actually create jobs. But these people are taking money out of classrooms, or it's not going to educate the kids. I mean, where are we on the ladder, statewide? I mean, nationwide in California, 48th or 49th.
It's a fierce competition between California and Mississippi.
Yeah.
Right.
And who's this blonde? Yes.
People should understand what the priorities are in the budget, and this has nothing to do with what people vote on or anything. Number one is you pay the New York bond houses for all the bonds the voters approved. That's about $7 or $8 billion a year. And number two is the pensions that we just talked about. That's $4 billion. So that's about $11 or $12 billion right there that automatically has to be paid up front. Then you start with everything else. And if they pass these tax increases, it goes to that stuff first, regardless of what they say, because all money is fungible for the government.
Right.
So it's to make good on. I have a friend who's a cop, and he's retired now because we're that age where he could retire and on his almost full pay, and he's got another job now. He's double dipping.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say this is just not fair, he goes, well, I could have gone in the private sector and made more money. And I'm like, show me where you could have done that. Show me where. And then,
that's ridiculous.
And retire with a pension that would require the equivalent of you having, being a millionaire or multimillionaire to have a retirement income that they have guaranteed.
Right.
Where other people, we have skin in the game. We have to think like how do we do no harm to the economy so that it stays healthy? But when you don't have skin in the game, you don't care. All he says to me is, well, A promise is a promise. It's a deal. They've guaranteed it. So tough doo-doo if you don't like it because you're stuck. You have to pay that bill and everybody owes it to me. And that is, he doesn't say it in that tone, but that's basically what he's saying to me. And he's not the only one. I mean, that's how anyone who's defending what the situation is, it's because they don't want to be conscious of the impact this is having on the people who live in California. Go ahead.
I didn't make the promise, and you didn't make it. And if we move out of this state, we don't have to pay it.
Right.
I know, and eventually, but it's so hard to leave. It's so beautiful. I mean, gosh, California's gorgeous.
That's it.
Why should we have to move? And as I said many times before, when you get to a point where you have politicians telling taxpayers, telling voters, you need to pay more taxes in order for these employees, retired public employees, to have a better lifestyle than you can ever expect to have. It's unsustainable. It's just not going to happen. We're going to be coming up on a break here shortly, John, but I do still want to talk about, when we get back, I want to talk about Proposition 29, which is the cigarette tax increase that's on the June ballot. And I also want to talk about that piece you had on Cal Watchdog that went up last night about the reverse migration, that people are looking for economic opportunities in Mexico now, which I think is just fascinating.
Wow. They're willing to face the cartels.
Yeah.
That's how bad things are. Oh, my God. Well, they like the weather. If you can live on the coast, I guess it's nice.
I guess it's pretty good.
Yeah, anyway, we got to go to a break. We will be right back. Yeah. Don't go away. Cal Watchdog and City Journal and Gadfly Radio right here. Martha Montelongo with Ben Boychuk and John Seiler.
This is